Well, I'll say this. It's better than the 1993 movie. So, given how my experiments for the HBO Max Relax turned out pretty well, this is going to close this month with another one that can be considered part of that series, with my look at this year's live action and CGI a version of Tom and Jerry, which is directed by Tim Story, who previously worked on several romantic comedies, plays two in the mid 2000s live action Fantastic Four films, and as well as various Kevin Hart comedies, such as the Think Like a Man movies. So, while that kind of director was obviously never going to be directing a Best Picture winner, I will say this. It's admittedly a very strange movie, but which all many ways kind of reminds me of an older generation of live action and cartoon adaptations. But in that sense, it's definitely an improvement over like the previous theatrical film. I mean, so mainly because many things like the whole it's even though it's very weird, the plot is definitely much simpler. So this and the story, much like the original shorts, is works when in its simplicity, in which Tom and Jerry are basically in New York City, and as per usual are trying to outdo one another. As I mean, the whole fact that the movie starts out with them as street performers before they start their usual cat and mouse chase, and at one point when they try to one of them tries to sell Jerry some real estate as a mouse hole, and apparently this rap song that opens the movie, I have not heard it, but apparently samples the bass line from the movie "Take a Look on the Wild Side." So as you can tell, even though I like that song, before I heard the rapping, I mean that's not exactly what I would have chosen for like a family-friendly only film about a couple cartoon animals. I mean, there's also they also end up stumbling upon on the Royal Gate Hotel. How as a celebrity couple is about to be wed, like the guy I think is some influencer, and her and the her and the bride is a his foreign royalty. So also helps a lot of the other supporting human cast members have had, as well as the other supporting and voice cast, have had a lot of experience in comedy. The ones like Chloe Moretz, Michael Pena, Ken Jeong, and even Rel Howery as the angel and devil voice is inside Tom's head. So yeah. Another edge this movie has over the for the 93 one, and there's the fact that apart from one scene where I think Tom is on the jazz piano, apart from like the voice inside his head that Rel Harry voices that I just mentioned, and the title characters do not speak, which the movie itself even lampshades at certain points where their body language definitely the is what makes it work. The fact that they just are able to walk off like getting electrocuted on a cable, or having like a piano or a safe dropped on them. Um, I mean, even though they did occasionally do things for gags I mentioned before, in some of the original shorts, or it's a simplicity that made my favorite ones work back in the day. Hey, I mean, and seeing how each setup played out was what made them interesting. And to be honest, man, even with some of the really bizarre ones that Gene Deitch worked on in the '70s, Rest of Soul, man, oh man, since it's definitely, and also the effects are another kind of one that kind of harkens back to some of those earlier adaptations where definitely trying to capture the same kind of energy as a live action cartoon, the way they framed all these shots, and the way they used the props for gags. Anything from like a bottle of sparkling cider to who are like a meat hammer, and even some more ones like a smartphone or a drone or like a wireless skateboard even. You know what I mean? I would be madder about that, but personally, I don't think it's going to be any more dated in another few decades than some of the props I had in the earlier shorts. I didn't know what the specific kitchen utensils were like when I was a kid, but I didn't care. They just used them as like gag props. Like I personally do not endorse and encourage having your cats or your mice use all your kitchen knives to make or cakes to make mesothanes. I do, however, find hilarious. I don't know about the whole 7 laugh test. Because I usually don't actively keep track of how many times I laugh. For me, I usually tend to prefer like a test that provokes any kind of emotional response. So it definitely. I enjoyed it, of all things considered, and even though there are some cringy elements of the social media references and some of the other kind of pop culture bits, like Tom mentioning he'll be singing with John Legend, and again, it's only really minor at best. And I'm definitely gonna keep going with the series. So, gonna wrap up my final thoughts for my initial viewing, as well as let you know my other plans for March. So, long story short, this movie may not be my favorite piece of Tom and Jerry media that I've ever seen, but it is very much a testament to the lasting appeal of these characters. And like I said before, er, sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words, even if that picture is being dropped on a cat's head by a cartoon mouse. So I'm probably not going to do a spoiler review like I would be like for Godzilla vs. Kong and Mortal Kombat after those come out, but I'd say I would give this movie like a solid, well, 4 out of 5 at least, or 3 out of 4. So easily better than the '93 film. And on that note, that's gonna be my last major video of February. So definitely have much planned, not just for 25th anniversary of Pokemon, but also other milestones like gonna be interested in me for video games like 35th anniversary of Zelda, and even yes, the 30th anniversary of Sonic as well. So looking forward to both the remakes and the prequel they announced for Sinnoh. I know. And on that note, I still want to finish the a second season of my Sun and Moon vlogs, so I can start with the third in April. And yes, I am going to be doing both my first viewing thoughts and a full on review of the Snyder Cut once that starts streaming. And I'm gonna save my energy for the next Smash character, because I'm not really a big fan of Xenoblade. And I'm not gonna be doing like a video on the gameplay demo like I did with the other ones. I'm just gonna wait till that one goes live. I even do it then. But I have another one that I would like to do with a surprise for the first week of the month. I just have to wait and see what it is. So later.